Hey everybody, what's up? I'm Latoya and I talk about faith, family, and business. Super excited to have you all here. I'm a 42-year-old mom in the tech and real estate industries. Quick rundown, my oldest daughter is 20, she's in college and she works. My middle child, he's in 9th grade, he's 14, and he's a gamer, software, hardware, all that other stuff. And my youngest daughter, she is just turning 13 on this past Sunday, October 12th. And she bakes her behind off. She does crochet and all kind of stuff. So our house is always full of something. And so what I do, I talk about faith, family, and business. Okay, so I just finished up doing a live event and I had somebody to be extremely inquisitive, and I loved every question that he was asking. His name was Andrew. So shouts to you, Andrew, for coming on to the live and asking all these amazing questions. But I like to go in and just kind of give a little bit more context and color to what we were talking about. So he asked me about how like my faith helps me with entrepreneurship. Now, mind you, I have a full-time job, but I also do some things on the side. Okay, so my faith and entrepreneurship go hand in hand because everything about my life is already centered in Christ Jesus. Yes, I said Christ Jesus. So before I do anything major, I always go to God in prayer because I've already messed up enough in life and delayed myself super bad previously by just making crass decisions, or just because something looked good, felt good, and I thought it was absolutely amazing. I delayed my life so many different times. So right now, what I do is I pray and then I proceed. Y'all say it with me. Pray, then proceed. So this person was just kind of like, hey, can you help me with the TV, radio, and motivational speaking industry? Like if I have no prior connections, no media experience, how do I get started? And because your girl is in the technology field, of course I use me some AI to just kind of help me out with some talk tracks. But I just wanted to help you all out as well because I feel like if it helped him, it's going to help you as well. So we're going to hop right in. I want to start off with one quick example about how things have changed now in the year of technology. Technology is at the center of everything as far as you becoming viral overnight, so to speak. The right video can become viral and you can be known by tomorrow. As a matter of fact, I have seen so many people change the game and change their financial position because they got online, they recorded some content, and then guess what? The people took it. The masses said, oh, this person is absolutely amazing. And that's what I love about the internet. One quick example that I always use is the record label business, okay? Can y'all let me know if this video is already helping you all? If so, if you've stayed this far, please go ahead and like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and then we're going to start back up, okay? But my example about the record label industry, and you can go ahead and close it, baby. That's fine. You're fine. You're fine. So you all already know my mom, so I have background noise, but not too loud because I want to get this information to you. So anyways, long story short, the record label industry used to be where these artists used to be like starving artists and going to go record their demo tape and going to beg and plead with these big record execs and, oh, can you hear my mixtape? And, can you give me an opportunity? And almost having to like kiss up to them for an opportunity until y'all say until we had the days of MySpace, but MySpace didn't do it. It was just a place to showcase your music. If you're old enough, and I'm showing my age, I'm a millennium. I'm one of the more older millennials. But I'll tell you this, when the days of Instagram got here and also TikTok changed the game for everybody and their mama and their grandparents, because I've seen all ages get on TikTok and make a difference. I've seen artists get onto TikTok and upload their sounds and dance to it, and other people be like, oh, I like that sound and I'm gonna dance to it, and guess what, we're gonna make some money. And that's what a lot of people have done. So they've gotten the exposure from being in the right place. Now we're getting ready to jump right on in, and I'm gonna pull up this information. All right, so we're gonna hop into these 10 steps. This is your roadmap if you have no prior experience, no connections in the TV, radio, or motivational speaking industries, I want you to put these 10 steps into motion, okay? Number one, define your core message. What are you doing this for? Who are you? So, what is your core message? What transformation do I help people achieve? What is this about? Why are you doing this? So this will become the foundation for all future interviews and talks. So for example, turning pain into passion, faith through adversity. You know, people love a good story, a good turnaround as well. Building confidence after failure. You know, we thrive off of things like that. So that's number one, define your core message. Number two, develop a signature story. One of the people, same person, Andrew, he said Steve Harvey has just mastered it. You know, after his shows, he would tell these long, just emotional stories, and he learned the art of connecting with his audience. And that's what mattered the most. And so if you develop your signature story and learn how to connect with your audience, you get to the point where you tell that story over and over and over and over again. People will start to know you more than your story, and they'll say, oh no, you forgot that part right there. Have you ever been to a concert before and it's your favorite artist and you're singing along with the artist, and they don't hit the note and they turn out the mic to y'all? It's because they know that you know their song and you know what part is coming up next. That's the same example. That's the same exact effect that you can have on your audience when you put out your signature story. Just start to tell it and tell it and tell it and tell it and tell it, and it gets down in everybody's spirit, and we all know your story by then. So the challenge or the struggle, that's before, during the moment or of change, and after the lesson or the victory. Now, number three, build a speaking portfolio. Now, even without big events, you can capitalize on the small. Baby, I don't care if you go to somebody's small podcast and it's 3 people listening in the audience of that podcast. It is documentation. I always say documentation beats conversation. So anything that you do, big or small, capitalize off of saying that you've been there. Okay, so you went to this particular podcast, put it out there, tell everybody. If somebody is inviting you to their church, go there and speak and do whatever you need to do, because all people care about is the sound bites and the pictures, because it speaks volumes because you have documentation. Now, create a media kit. Your media kit should include your bio, that's your biography. Who are you? And talk about who you are, where you've been, and that sort of thing. Make it small but powerful, okay? Use the power of AI. AI is everywhere right now. Let AI help you to clean it up and get it out there, okay? So your bio and your professional headshot. It doesn't cost that much money to go and get a professional headshot, or you can use maybe some AI to doctor up your headshot. I like to take my headshots behind like my real pictures. If I can't get to somewhere for a professional picture, you just get you to like a white background with no busyness behind there, and you get where it is well lit, and you take that picture. It doesn't have to be perfect, but make sure it's professional, okay? So that's number one. Topics that you speak about, sample questions for interviews, because you kind of start to think about the questions that interviewers are going to ask you, and then some of those questions that are off limits, like even have those things ready for and prepared for your interviews. Like, hey, before you talk to the interviewer, hey, these are the questions that are they're off the table. Like, don't ask me these, okay? Personal things, you could tell them questions that they can ask you versus questions like, it's a no, don't ask me that or I'm walking off, okay? Sample questions for interviews, links to past clips or podcast episodes, contact information, and or booking email. I don't care if you create a Gmail account for your booking. Book Latoya now at gmail.com. Okay, because you don't have to start to spend money immediately to have this stuff in place. All right, so let's go to number 5. Pitch to local radio and podcast first. My childhood pastor used to say, if you stay small enough long enough, God will make you big enough soon enough. So start somewhere small first. Start local, and then you can scale to the national stage. I feel like that will give you the opportunity to get all the quirks out of the way, get the charisma up and going. You can get used to being up on the stage and talking, okay? Start with the little small storefronts first, and then move on up to the TED Talks, okay? All right, so leverage social proof. Once you began being featured anywhere, even on a small podcast, like I told you all earlier, promote it. Tell everybody, stand on the mountaintop and scream it. Tell everybody. Post snippets with captions like grateful to share my story with whatever station it was, right? Whether you're on Hot 97 or on your mama's channel, okay? Tag the host and thank them. This builds credibility for future bookings. All people care about is, did you do it? You got pictures? You got some videos, some sound bites? That's all we care about. Put it out there. All right, so network is number 7 with producers and hosts. Find them. They're easy to find. You can use things like Seamless AI, which I use every single day. I've been using Seamless AI for over a year. Mind you, I'm in the tech industry, but I also deal in high ticket sales. So with that being said, you have to find the decision makers and go after them. You can find them on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. You can contact local news anchors, radio hosts. You can talk to TV producers or their marketing department, PR department. Find a way, okay? Comment on their posts. Share genuine appreciation. Be genuine, okay? I understand there is a means to an end, but be genuine. Try your best. And build rapport before pitching them. Because, like, why would I come to you and ask you for a new hairstyle, okay, off of Amazon? I don't know you. But I can go and ask my daughter, or I can go and ask myself, for lack of better phrases. Go with the intention of building a relationship. And then you can start to ask. You warm it up, and get those brownie points in. And then you go for the ask, okay? All right, so number 8, join a speaker's bureau or platform. That's Speaker Hub, Gig Salad, okay? Women Speakers Associations, Toastmasters, Black Speakers Network. It doesn't have to just be Black speakers, be Hispanic speakers. Find a speaking network and join it. Toastmasters is one of the best to ever do it because they'll help critique you and get you ready for the stage. These networks help you to get discovered and booked by organizations, schools, and conferences. Now, refine stage presence. Toastmasters International, which I just said, acting or media communication workshops. These teach how to handle live audiences because you need to be media trained. I have talked to my kids about media training for many years. I've had the opportunity to be on TV multiple times. One of my previous connections, he's dearly departed now. He had a TV show that we recorded every single week. And at first I just came on as a guest appearance. And then I started to be one of his partners that came on to the show on a consistent basis. I actually also used to work in the radio industry. So I worked with the program director. I worked with major artists. But that was many, many, many moons ago. Okay? But you have to be media trained because you got to know what to say, what not to say, and how to poise yourself in front of live audiences. Because live versus recorded, it can change your life forever, okay? You get there and you say the wrong thing, you can be canceled. So be careful. Make sure that you get places where you can learn how to handle the blessings that's going to be coming to you later on, okay? So you got to learn how to deal with the cameras because you don't want to be like those low budget movies where you're not supposed to be looking in the camera and you're looking in the camera. You got to be able to know that if, for example, if I'm supposed to be, the camera's right here and I'm supposed to be looking out like this, you cannot look in this camera. You got to understand, I don't care how close they get to your face, okay? You got to be unfazed. And I've also gotten a chance to be in a movie and a stage play as well. I was in a Marvel film that we filmed back in 2019. Then the pandemic hit, and it ended up being Black Widow. So I've been in some things before, but it just takes you having to be around those scenarios to know how to operate. Here we go. And impromptu interviews confidently. So you have to be trained for that stuff because it will cause you to trip up so bad if you don't have the training and the consistency to get you ready for those places. Like I said, from TikTok to TED Talks, like you got to be ready. Be ready for it all. Now we're getting close to the end. Let's go on down to the last one. Monetize and scale, because you're not just doing this for fun, baby. You're doing it because you know you want to build a business behind it. Anything that you're doing can be monetized, okay? So once you have media appearances and polished delivery, offer paid workshops. You come on here on live and do a whole day of live events and have other speakers to come in and charge people to do it. I've actually sat through a live workshop many times before, and I'm one of those people who don't mind paying for courses and workshops and things like that because I understand the value in investing in myself. So paid workshops, books, and coaching align with their message. Build a personal website. I don't care if you use a just a one pager, a landing page. Build something for yourself where you can get people to go in. If it's even just a blanket link tree. A link tree is really professional because it's like a centralized place where people can go and they can go to your different links and understand who you are wholly and fully, okay? Or coaching align with your message. Build a personal website showcasing clips, bio, and booking and your booking form, okay? Continue applying to conferences, churches, and panels to grow your reach. I hope this has helped everybody. I am Latoya and I talk about faith, family, and business. And this is your year to go higher. I don't care if you feel unprepared. You know, I speak against fear and imposter syndrome all the time because I believe that you can do all things through Christ Jesus, which gives you strength. If anybody else can do it, you can do it as well. I'm Latoya, and I talk about faith, family, and business. I want you to please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, especially if you want more information like this. Love you. Talk to you soon.